What's up, Cowboys Nation? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Insert Name, and we're coming at you with the most up-to-date and exciting Cowboys news heading into the 2025 offseason. Now, we've got a lot to talk about today. The 2025 offseason for the Dallas Cowboys has already proven to be a particularly eventful one. The most exciting storyline currently making waves involves Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb pushing hard for the Cowboys to pursue an acquisition that could have a profound impact on their offense, none other than wide receiver Cooper Kupp. This isn't just idle speculation either. There are reports circulating that Prescott and Lamb have actively been advocating for the front office to do everything they can to bring Kupp into the fold. Now, if you're a Cowboys fan, you know that the team already has a solid offense, but there's a clear sense that, despite CeeDee Lamb's emergence as the number one target, Dak Prescott still needs more weapons to elevate the passing game to elite status. Cooper Kupp fits that mold perfectly. His combination of speed, route running, and ability to make clutch catches in big moments is exactly what the Cowboys need to take their offense to the next level, especially with the aspirations of winning a Super Bowl in 2025. Kupp, who has consistently been one of the NFL's top receivers over the past few years, including a standout season where he was named Defensive Player of the Year, would give the Cowboys' offense a dynamic new dimension. But of course, there's always a catch. As much as the idea of bringing Kupp in excites the fanbase, it's important to understand the financial realities. The Rams are looking to offload some of their big contracts, and Kupp's hefty salary could create some complications for the Cowboys, who are already dealing with their own salary cap limitations. The team would need to restructure contracts, possibly offload some players, or rework Dak Prescott's deal in order to make room for Kupp on the roster. Yet, it's no secret that Jerry Jones and the front office have made bold moves when necessary, especially when they feel like they have a championship-caliber roster. This is exactly the type of situation where the Cowboys could surprise us all by pulling the trigger on a high-profile move. And when you think about it, the timing is perfect. Prescott and Lamb both know that the team's Super Bowl window is wide open right now, and adding a player of Kupp's caliber would certainly strengthen the offense and give Dak the reliable targets he needs to be even more efficient in 2025. With Kupp in the mix, defenses would have to choose whether to double-team Lamb or Kupp, opening up more space for both players to dominate on the field. The offensive possibilities would be nearly endless. However, this potential move isn't without its risks. While the Cowboys have a solid core, they also need to be mindful of their long-term financial health. Giving up significant draft capital for Kupp could deplete the team's resources for the future. And in a league where teams often thrive on the strength of their rookie classes and depth, it's something that has to be carefully considered. Will Cooper Kupp's presence on the field make that type of financial sacrifice worthwhile? That's the burning question here. The Cowboys already have one of the most potent offensive lines, a solid running back in Tony Pollard, and a star receiver in Lamb, but the addition of a player like Kupp could make this offense unstoppable. The risk is there, but so too is the reward. This is the type of gamble that could catapult the Cowboys into Super Bowl contention. The question remains, can they make the financials work, and is Kupp truly the piece that puts them over the top? But while Dak and Lamb's push for Kupp may be dominating the headlines, there's another storyline that's been generating a lot of attention, and it's a bit more concerning. Micah Parsons, the Cowboys' superstar linebacker and the leader of their defense, is reportedly facing some leadership challenges within the locker room. Now, let's be clear, Parsons is still an incredible player. His ability to rush the quarterback, stop the run, and cover in space makes him one of the most dominant defensive players in the NFL. He's proven time and time again that he can be the backbone of this defense. However, there are whispers that his leadership style has become a point of contention among some of his teammates. The main issue seems to revolve around how Parsons communicates with others, particularly younger players and some veterans in the locker room. Parsons is an intensely driven individual. He's known for his high energy, no-nonsense approach to the game, which is something that makes him a nightmare for opposing offenses. But for some of his teammates, that very intensity, while admirable, can come off as overwhelming. Leadership in the NFL is a delicate balance. It's not just about being the best player on the field, it's about inspiring and motivating your teammates in a way that brings the best out of everyone. The challenge for Parsons seems to be his high expectations for those around him. While that's not necessarily a bad thing, especially when you're a player of his caliber, there are concerns that Parsons' leadership style is coming off as too harsh or even abrasive. Some veterans feel that he's attempting to lead by force rather than by example or motivation, and that's not always effective, especially in a locker room with players who have seen it all. Veterans have a different perspective on leadership than rookies and younger players, and it's clear that Parsons' approach might not be resonating with all of them. Leadership is about understanding your teammates, knowing when to push and when to step back, and finding ways to bring the entire team together. Parsons, while undoubtedly a natural leader on the field, may need to learn how to adjust his style to make sure he's getting the best out of everyone, not just those who share his intensity. The Cowboys coaching staff, led by Mike McCarthy, is reportedly aware of these leadership dynamics, and McCarthy has likely had some conversations with Parsons to ensure that he's getting the most out of the locker room. McCarthy himself is no stranger to leadership issues, having coached teams with some of the NFL's biggest personalities. It's possible that McCarthy will work closely with Parsons to help him evolve as a leader, which would only benefit the team in the long run. Parsons is still a young player, and he has the potential to be a transcendent figure not only on the field but also in the locker room. The question is whether he can adapt his leadership style to be more inclusive and less intimidating. If he can find that balance, he'll only enhance his legacy as one of the best defensive players the Cowboys have ever had. And while these leadership concerns may seem like a small hiccup, the impact they could have on the team's chemistry cannot be understated. For the Cowboys to be successful in 2025, they need strong leadership both on and off the field. Dak Prescott has emerged as a natural leader in his own right, and the balance between him, Parsons, and the rest of the leadership group will be essential in guiding the team to success. The Cowboys have the talent to be a Super Bowl contender, but the question of whether they can truly function as a unified team will determine their fate. Can Parsons harness his passion and channel it in a way that brings the best out of his teammates? Or will this leadership issue become a larger obstacle as the season progresses? As the 2025 offseason continues, the Cowboys front office has a lot to juggle. They have a solid foundation, but there are gaps that need to be filled, particularly in the areas of depth and experience. With the draft and free agency approaching, there's no doubt that the Cowboys will be looking to address their weaknesses. Their offensive line, while solid, could use some reinforcements to protect Dak Prescott and open up more running lanes for Tony Pollard. Defensively, the Cowboys are one of the league's best, but they'll be looking for a way to improve their secondary and depth at linebacker, particularly with the potential departure of some veterans. The team will need to be strategic in the draft, making sure they're selecting players who can contribute right away. And in free agency, there are likely to be some big moves that could further solidify this team's chances of competing for a Super Bowl. The Cowboys' 2025 season is shaping up to be a critical one. With so many moving parts to push for Cooper Kupp, the leadership challenges with Micah Parsons, and the front office's decisions on the draft and free agency this offseason will likely be one of the most consequential in recent years. Cowboys fans are expecting nothing less than a championship-caliber team, and the pressure is on for everyone involved to ensure that the team reaches its full potential. The question is, will this team come together, or will the internal dynamics cause a setback? Only time will tell, but one thing is for sure: the 2025 season is going to be one for the history books, either as a year of glory or a year of missed opportunities. That's all for today, Cowboys Nation. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications so you never miss an update on America's team. I'll catch you next time.